Welcome to episode 56? 56 of the Not All Here podcast. Man, what a day.
How you doing?
Good, busy. We got a little cat over here.
Literally
a little cat in a pamper.
Strange.
Dapper. Very, there's a reason for it. But, man, it's interesting. It's been an interesting last 2 days.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. Hold on 1 second. Damn, I'm over here sweating. I'm sweating so much from chasing this cat around.
You crying? don't cry, bro.
Not on the podcast. Be a man. No, so welcome to episode 56 of Not All Here podcast. A lot of crazy stuff has happened. I gotta make sure I'm not on this wire. All right. So a lot of crazy stuff has happened in the past, really day.
In the life of Zamudio?
Yeah, in the life of me. Because nothing really, it's barely started today. So for those who don't know or who don't follow me on social media, I recently got engaged.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. It's
we need some sound effects.
Get some fake confetti to fly over the screen. People are like, oh. Yeah, so I proposed to my partner, P, for those of you who know, and man, what a day. It's crazy and interesting how it happened. I say that, but it felt crazy to me, you know. So just to break down real quick, because I don't want to bore people, but
okay. Make it entertaining.
So I had been planning this, I think, for about a week.
Okay.
To surprise her. Okay. She didn't know anything. When I kind of decided that it was time, I hit up her mom and her pops, of course, to do the normal, hey, can I get your blessing to propose to your daughter? They were both like, you're great, you're amazing, we think you're perfect for our daughter. I was like, bet. I was nervous more so with the pops because it's, me being a guy, and when you're kind of in that dynamic, they do it in movies all the time where it's kind of like the dad is always like, I don't know, nobody's perfect for my daughter.
You're not the right one.
You just a piece of shit. Right. But he was real cool, and he would always be like real chill, down to earth, and then he was just super happy for me. That was one of the hard parts for me. Okay. Called my mom, called my pops, and told them, and they're like, we knew it was gonna happen, it was just a matter of time. And I was like, bet. So bro, I kid you not, today when we're recording this, it's Sunday. I think it was the end of last week, or if not on Tuesday or something. That's when I started really putting the plans together. Wasn't that long. I was just like, initially I was like, it shouldn't be that hard to set this up. It shouldn't be. The initial plan was to take her out to dinner, go to the park, propose at the park at sunset, get a friend to take photos. Boom, magic story. But my friend who's going to take the photos said, it's raining on Saturday. And I was like, oh shit. So back up, I had to pull an audible. I decided to get all her friends together and stuff, and they all surprise her at the house when we come back home from dinner. Okay. So wasn't nervous when I was planning it. I wasn't nervous. I was like, this is normal. This is something that happens in everybody's life, or mostly everybody's life. So when that happened, I started getting everything set up, and I'm planning for it. We go to the High Museum. The day comes when it's time. It's the day that it's time to propose to her. All of a sudden, I start to feel the nerves come in. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit! Like, today's the fucking day. Today of all times. And I'm like, okay, bet. So we go out to the High Museum. For those who aren't in Atlanta, we go out to the High Museum, where it's like a museum for art and stuff and just whatever. So we go out there, bro, and I kid you not, that was like a last minute thing, because I'm planning for time, because her mom came down here to our spot and was like, hey, I'm gonna set up to make the place look gorgeous, whatever. I need you to get her out of the house by this time and have her out until this time. And I was like, shit, I had to plan for like 3 hours. I was like, fuck, how are we gonna pull this off? So we go to the High Museum. Mind you, the last minute, we get there, High Museum's about to close in 30 minutes.
Oh, damn. So you had to pull an audible.
I had to pull an audible. So we still went, and she was like, no, it's fine. Let's keep going. It's okay. Like, let's go. So we went in, saw a couple things. Then she was like, I'm hungry. So we went to this little Latin spot, and I was like, okay, bet. Now there, I was about to tell the waiters, hey, don't rush this out. Just hold it as long as you can and then bring it out. That's what I was going to say, but I didn't, because I was like, maybe it'll work out in my favor. Sure enough, it took a while for the food to come out.
Okay. Slow service.
Slow service.
Okay.
And I was like, bet this is the first time that I enjoy slow service. And so we're having a conversation and she's like, I want something to drink. I'm like, cool, I got you. Don't worry about it. She buys a drink. She's feeling good. We're good. One thing I forgot to mention before we go into the restaurant, there's this plant store we passed by and I think we should go there after. So that
There
more
you go.
time. Boom. Things are pulling up for me. I'm like Joe Montana.
We should adopt a cat.
Exactly. So that happens. We're getting more than enough time at dinner.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is perfect. And then one last audible that I have in my back pocket, I tell her, just in case, I go, hey, I got to go to Publix after we leave the plant store to waste more time. And so I have that in my back pocket.
Did you buy a plant?
No, did not. We just went and we just shopped.
Should have bought a plant, and then you got to keep that plant alive.
Oh my God. She's climbing up. Me and my partner's cat Brig is wilding out. But so we go to the plant store and it's like this cool little store we'd never seen. And she was like, wow, this stuff's so pretty, so beautiful. I do need to get a case for this plant that we got in our house. And we look and we just kind of shop. Then she hits me with I'm ready to go home. And I was like, oh boy. And by this time though, I bought enough time for them to have set up and do all this stuff. And she's in heels and I tell her, hey, don't even walk with me. I'll go get the car and I'll bring it around to pick you up. She's like, okay, that gives me time to check in. Hey, what are y'all doing? And people are hitting me, what's the ETA? I'm like, we should be at the house in 5 to 10 minutes. And then they're like, perfect. We got everything set up. A bunch of people are here. So we're good to go. I'm like, bet. I don't even have to go to Publix now.
Okay.
And so we get in the car, pick her up, and she hasn't suspected anything at this time. And so we get to driving home, and I'm just driving straight home, and she sees that we passed Publix. She's like, didn't you have to go to Publix? I was like, you know what? I'll go another time. I don't have to go. Just playing it off. And she kind of had this like, huh. And then she's like, whatever. And just forgot about it. So then now, as this has been going on, when it hit the 2 hour mark that's when I started to get real nervous. It was like 2 hours, hour and 30, hour, 20 minutes or 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We pull up to the driveway that's right here. And we're going into the garage. One move that I made that was smart on my part. Oh boy. Don't let her jump. Don't let her jump. Okay. One move that was smart on my part. So whenever you kind of pull into where we live, you can kind of see into our living room. Before she got into the car for us to go home, I pulled down the sun visor to kind of block that part of the windshield for her.
Boy, you was thinking of everything.
It's hilarious. I don't know why. I just went, just did it. And then sure enough, she didn't see nobody. And I saw people in there, but she didn't. So we pull into the garage, close the door. I have the ring over here to my side on my driver's side. And I'm like, it's time. It's showtime. So I get out the car quick because I'm trying to beat her up the stairs. So that way, when she turns around, everybody's like, surprise. So we get, I get out first. And this is the only time of all times she's sitting in the car and she hasn't left the car yet. And I can hear our dog, Hawk, barking like crazy. And I get up to the top stairs. I'm going to go get, our child. And I'm walking up and I see the people. They're starting to record the cameras. And I go, hold on, wait, just 1 minute, hold on. And I'm just like, babe, come on, let's go. And she's taking her motherfucking time. Like, it feels like forever to hear her get out the car and like come in or whatever. But finally she comes up them steps. Bro, it felt like an eternity for her to climb those fucking steps. I was like, God damn. I was like, what's going on? Like, why is it taking so long for her to take steps up? So finally she gets up. I go, surprise, everybody, surprise. Man, when I tell you the look on her face, the first look, she was like, who the fuck are y'all? What are y'all doing in my, like, that's the first reaction. Then she starts to look around. And I start to give my little talk. Man, my heart's like doof, 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 doof. And I look and I go, babe, we've been together for 2.5, going on 3 years now. And, you're so special to me. I love you, all this, da-da-da. And she's still like in shock. She's still in shock. And everybody's like, oh, they're all listening, all her girlfriends and stuff like that. And then finally she goes, she's just like, oh my God. She realizes what's happening. And I pull out the ring and I just get on one knee and I go, I wanted to ask you, will you marry me? It's silent for like what feels like 5 minutes, but it's really like 5 seconds. And she goes, of course I will. Yay. Bro. After it was done, it felt like somebody had hit me with like not an EpiPen, but like an adrenaline rush pen or whatever.
After it was done.
After it was done. Because I was riding on this high.
Okay.
And it was like so wild and so crazy. But everything worked out perfectly.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Did it go as planned? Everything went like perfect, like no...
No, everything went perfectly, except for the initial, wanting to go to the park. But other than that, once we switched it up, everything like timed out perfectly.
And, yeah, I don't even think it rained, did it?
No, it ended up like it rained early in the morning and then it stopped. And then but the plans were set in motion already that it's like, well, we can't change now. Right. And so, man, it was wild. And like her mom put on this like crazy extravagant thing with like all these snacks and stuff or whatever. We took pictures. Everybody was so happy. All the girls, they was all crying and, doing what girls do. No. But I had friends who came out of town for it and stuff. They just happened to be in town.
That's dope.
And so, yeah, man. So now it's funny because once it was done, she's still riding that high. She's still riding that high. But me, I'm like, okay, back to normal.
So who is the artist at the High Museum?
Who's the artist?
Like, was there a specific?
I was just going just to go.
But no, what you should do is if it was a specific artist, you should buy like a print of theirs, and then it's like,
gotcha.
That'll remind you of that day.
Oh yeah. No, I'm trying to think of if there was like, I remember. Oh, I know what it was. We saw, funny enough, we saw this random artist who did children's books, but they were like illustrations that look real cool, and so that was who we went to go see.
Okay,
because it was their exhibition, and so it was crazy. She was happy. She was crying. There's like some pictures that I had to show you that are hilarious. Her like facial reactions and stuff. But yeah, so now we engaged, man. So I feel like an old man.
Feel like a grown up.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, bro. But at the same time though, it's funny. I don't know if you ever thought like this when you were younger. Did you ever think you would get married by a certain age?
Yeah, I think I used to think about stuff like that when I was really young. But the older you get, I kind of don't think about that anymore.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember I had a goal when I was younger, when I didn't realize like how much work actually went into these things.
Right.
That I always told myself that I was like, by 27, I'm gonna get married, and then by 30, I'm gonna have 2 kids. But then when I look back at where I was when I was 27, I was like, Jesus Christ, good thing I didn't get married or have 2 kids.
That's like that thing when you're a kid, you're like, I'm gonna have that car. That's gonna be my house. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you grow up and you're like, I'm homeless and I ride a bike.
I barely can afford Taco Bell. Like, it's wild. So that all happened, and so everybody's like super happy, and everybody's riding that high. But it's so interesting. It's funny. I had my homegirl Sydney. She came over. Shout out to Sydney. She didn't make it in time for the surprise. Just I didn't like communicate effectively. But afterwards, she was like, "Well, tell me what happened." And I told her exactly what happened. Man, she started crying. Like I was like, "Damn."
I thought I saw it on her story.
She was here after the fact.
That was that was after you proposed.
After the surprise. Yep. After. Yeah. And then I gave a toast to everybody because her mom was like, "We got champagne, let's celebrate." And so, excuse me. So it was crazy. It's interesting because like I know this morning, she asked me, P asked me, my partner, she was like, "So how do you feel afterwards?" I was like, "Feels like where I'm supposed to be. Feels normal. I don't feel like scared or anything like that. Like, why did I do this? Or being forced into it. You know what I mean?" Right. And so I'm just like, I feels like I had a title under my name and then it just switched. That's all it feels like.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Feels like the puzzle piece fit in place.
Exactly. And it happened when I wanted it to, not when somebody pushed me. Because it's funny. I was talking to her about this and I was like, every now and then people would be like, "So what are your intentions? When do you plan on doing this?" And I'd be like, when I want to do it.
Tomorrow.
It was hilarious, and I was just like, well, no. One thing about me, I don't like being rushed on anything. I don't like being rushed. I just I move at my pace, and nobody can tell me what to do. So, And I had a feeling that happened that kind of told me it was time.
Okay.
It's funny. I told other people, I'll tell you, and it's the most like random thing. You'd be like, what the fuck? So
this is the moment you knew?
This is the moment I knew that it was time to propose to her. One night, we like to cook for dinner, and like sometimes I'll cook or she'll cook. And one night, like sometimes when we're lazy, we're like, let's just go get a DiGiorno pizza and just whatever. So it's nobody has to work. And one day she goes, babe, do you think you can? No, I don't feel like cooking. Can you just get DiGiorno? I'm like, that's perfect. I don't want to cook either. And like I'm going to the grocery store to like a Kroger up the street. And as I'm walking into the Kroger, for some reason, I start to think about her, and I think about how happy I am. And this like big wave of like happiness just washes over me and it just tells me like time. Crazy. Over getting a DiGiorno pizza.
While you're at the pizza aisle in Publix.
Again, going in to get a DiGiorno pizza.
Life is funny like that, man.
Yeah. And you know, that's like the first time I'm like, oh, is this what that is? I was like, it just happens randomly. But
is that what love feels like?
A DiGiorno pizza Supreme?
Dang, it's a good I don't know the word. Sponsorship for DiGiorno.
I know, DiGiorno. Making people fall in love for however many years they've been in business.
Oh man.
And so
congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
I had it's funny, I have another story to tell that happened. So, of course, as maybe some people can hear, we have a cat running around making all these noises like ding, 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 just like messing with cords and shit. And so, unfortunately, cat's going to have to go back tomorrow because it's not working out with our dog Hawk because she's kind of rough with the cat and the cat can't really play like that. So, but the way that we adopted her, we found her through this website called Pet Finder, if you know what that is.
No, I never heard of it.
So it's like a website where you can look for animals that are around you in your local shelters or whoever is wanting to get dogs adopted or whatever. We go to, I look up, see this cat, gorgeous cat, cute cat, and we go to, in order to adopt it, we have to go to Covington, which is out southeast, maybe from here, about an hour.
Okay.
And we get there, and there's this veterinarian doctor. Man, when I tell you he has like a Brooklyn accent, he has a Brooklyn accent. And
so you're here for a cat, eh?
Yeah.
I don't even know
what's going on.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But he talked he didn't yell like that. He's just like, yeah, what's going on? You're here to adopt. The cat's original name is Danny. You're here to adopt Danny, basically. And it's a girl cat. And I'm like, yeah, we're here to adopt. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to get everything set up. I was like, all right. He kind of sounds like he's in the mob a little bit. So we go meet Danny the cat. And I'm like, wow, this cat's so gorgeous. You know, it's amazing. It's a playful cat. It's a young cat. And he comes back in. He's like, I'm going to give y'all a moment with the cat. That's what he says. And so we're like, we have our dog Hawk there to meet to see if they can get along. And so far, everything's fine then. But then he comes in and he's like, okay, I'm back. He comes in. He's like, this cat is special to me.
Really?
He says it like that. He's like, I love this cat. Because the reason why is because he helped rehabilitate her. And so people wouldn't know this, but so Danny, when she was a little baby, she got into an accident and had an accident to where her lower half was basically kind of paralyzed. But then this doctor rehabilitated her to be able to walk again. But she got what's called incontinence.
Oh, hey. Oh, damn.
Oh, no. Well,
she's tearing up the wall.
Okay. But she got what's called incontinence, and basically she basically doesn't know when she's using the bathroom. And so she has to wear a diaper. And so she wears a diaper all the time. And so he rehabilitated her, and he was like, he goes, now, are you sure you want to adopt this cat? He's like that. He's like, yeah. And he keeps bringing up the fact that this cat is special to me. She's really important to me. And I'm like, okay, why are you telling me how important this cat is? Like, why you, like, you know, whatever.
You don't understand.
Exactly. And so he tells me all this. He's like, he saw our dog Hawk, and I could tell he was a little unsure because of how Hawk acts. Sometimes she can get a little rowdy. And he's like, I don't know. But he was like, have you had any experience with cats? And I was like, yeah, I grew up. We had like 5 cats, you know, da-da-da. He said, okay. And I was like, I love cats and, you know, they're amazing. And then he goes, see, you seem sure, but your girlfriend over here, she don't seem so sure. Uh-huh. And I'm like, why is this dude trying to like hustle us or like, you know, just like do this mob talk to us?
Look, Danny's important to him, man.
Of course. But it was just funny. So he was like, afterwards, he's like, I'm going to give you a few more moments with the cat so you can see. I was like, all right. And so that happens. And then we're like kind of making a decision. Like, yeah, we think we're going to adopt her and see how it goes. So then he comes back in and he's like, I'm going to give you the weekend. See how it goes. We'll call you Monday because tomorrow's Good Friday. We giving everybody a day off, you know? And he's just like, Monday, call us. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. No harm, no foul. It's like, but if everything works out, cool, have a happy life. Like very, very like Brooklyn Mafia, think like, you know, Scorsese movies and stuff. And I was like, man, will you just let us have this damn cat? Like,
hey, bro.
But he literally also told us, which I understand it, I guess maybe because he really loves animals and he's a veterinarian. He was like, whenever an animal gets adopted, I lose a week of sleep.
Really?
That's what he says. He said, I lose at least a week of sleep.
Wow.
And so he, you know, apparently, you know, I guess maybe because he works so closely with them and especially with this one, he helped rehabilitate her. So he kind of is, you know, attached to him.
He's invested.
Exactly. So, but now we had Danny. Hey, don't buy my... And so we had her and we renamed her to Brig. And she's a gorgeous cat, as you can see on the camera. She's gorgeous, great cat, cute, little soft thing. But unfortunately, just the way that like Hawk acts, we still probably have to work with Hawk more before we can actually have, you know, another pet or something. Because Hawk is very like rowdy, and we need to get her like, you know, under control to let her know what's okay or not. So, and it's not fair to Danny or aka Brig. You know, I want her to go to somebody that's actually going to be able to give her all the love and time she needs. Yeah. So.
Well, it's the right thing to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm. When I go back, he's going to be like, see, I had a feeling.
I had a feeling you wasn't ready. You tried to take my Danny, wasn't even.
Hey, Tony! Come out here real quick.
DiGiorno's not authentic pizza.
You couldn't tell a slice from a fucking DiGiorno pizza. Hey!
Knew you just wasn't ready for no cat.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so that happened, and it's been fun. It feels like it's been a crazy past few days. Just with the cat, seeing how she acts with Hawk, and then also engagement. Mm-hmm. And I'm just now feeling like I'm finally back, settling down, and like, okay, I'm back to where I was.
Now I need 3 more things to happen.
Oh my God!
You need to adopt a homeless man. Take him in your house.
No!
Rehabilitate him.
Me and homeless people don't get along.
Get his legs working right.
Oh my God!
You know what I mean?
That's hilarious. But she likes that. But yeah, it's wild.
You're doing good, E. You're doing good.
I think after I proposed and now I'm engaged, I kind of felt like the grown man just overcome, like just basically like just watch over me, where I was like, whoa, I'm a grown ass man now.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You're gonna start getting more grays?
Probably. I'll probably eventually. That'd be dope to have gray hair, I think.
I don't know about that.
Man, I would look so dope. I'd look like what's his name? Henry Cavill from The Witcher.
I think you look like Zeus.
Zeus. Oh, that'd be dope. A Latin Zeus. Zeus? No. But yeah. All right, and we're back.
Oh, the hair just flew up.
That's from Brig.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Feels like I've accomplished a milestone.
It's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Hell yeah.
So do we want to talk about stuff in the world?
Yes.
Are you aware of the Elon Musk Twitter stuff?
I'm aware about a little bit. So I kind of know that he did. So initially, didn't he buy a certain amount of shares to gain like a certain amount of percentage in Twitter?
So he bought 9% of the shares, which is doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean it's a whole lot. It's like, you know, I think billions of dollars worth.
Crazy.
And I've been reading a whole lot of stuff about this and trying to figure it out, and I'm kind of more confused now than I was before. But if you're into like shows like Succession and like Billions, this is like the real life version of that. He's attempting a hostile takeover of Twitter, which is kind of crazy.
So like hostile in what way?
Hostile meaning say you own a company. I have nothing to do with the company, but I'm like, no, screw that. I'm coming in and taking the company.
Okay.
That's all it means by hostile.
Oh, just like buying a bunch of stuff up to kind of gain control?
Hostile just means I'm going to come in and just take your shit.
Gotcha.
So it's been interesting seeing everything play out. They offered him a seat on the board, which initially it sounded like this was going to be a thing that was going to happen. And then he turned it down. And people were saying it's because if you're on the board, you can't own past a certain percentage.
Oh, gotcha.
So they were saying they offered him that so that he couldn't, you know,
control certain things.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Couldn't take over the company. But he was like, no, I'm good. I'd rather kind of take over the company. So now they're implementing something called like people are calling it a poison pill, which is something that's happened before. Do you know about this? So what companies will sometimes do, they can dilute their stock.
Okay.
And it's probably going to be a bad thing, but I guess it could be a good thing in the long run, depending on whose side you're on. If you think Elon's a good thing for the company, this is a bad thing. If you think Elon is a bad thing for the company, this is a good thing. But basically, they'll create more shares and kind of like diluting the ownership. So say you own a stock at $10 per share. Well, then they'll introduce double the amount of shares. So now you still own $10 worth of shares, but it's worth half as much now. Because the quantity of shares just gone up. just doubled. And what's going to happen if Elon tries to purchase more than 15% of the company? They're going to dilute the shares, and it's just going to make the stock tank. And people. There's a lot of different views on this. Like people are saying, you know, Elon is kind of posturing that this is screwing over the shareholders because, you know, if you own a company and your ownership in that company, your amount's just going to go down. Well, you kind of feel screwed, right? So that was kind of Elon's posture. Like, you know, the board members are kind of screwing up by not accepting this. I don't know if this is interesting to anybody.
No. It sounds interesting. It sounds like a movie plot.
but I thought it was super interesting. So he's saying that it's your financial responsibility. You should accept this offer. Basically, he made an offer to buy the entire company, right? He wants to take it private. He wanted to buy every share for $54. And I think at the time he made that offer, the shares were around $40. So he's paying a premium of more than what it's worth. But also other people are saying, well, it used to be worth more. He's kind of getting it at a discount, but he's saying it's their responsibility. This is a good offer. They should accept. But another thing is that the board members don't own a lot of the company. A lot of the board members own like 0.0 something percent. So if this sale went through, right? If Elon bought it and Twitter went private, well, then these people, they would get some money, but not a lot of money. You only own like something percent of the shares. So basically you might get like they might get like a $300,000 boost. But if they sit on the board every single year, well, they get $300,000 a year. So those board members are kind of screwing over everyone in wanting to stay there on the board and continue to moving the company forward with their plans. So who knows? I mean, it's a complicated thing. If you're invested in a company, you know, with those board members, right? Say they think they're on the right path, they're doing the right thing. Do you really want this guy to come in and just take over the company? I don't know. But the other side is, well, this guy's saying he wants to make it more free speech. He wants to make it open sourced. You know, Who knows? It's a complicated.
Yeah, it's like some of the stuff that I've seen. It's interesting because then I wonder if they were to. So then let me ask you this: so if they dilute it, right, and you were to buy, so now the stock's worth half. If you were to go in and buy as it was half later on, let's say if it goes back, then you would double your buy, wouldn't you?
So basically what happens is that he can never get over 15%.
Gotcha.
If he buys over 15%, they dilute the shares, and then his percentage of the overall company of what he owns goes down. Because if you own 15% of something and then they introduce more of that something to buy, well, then you no longer hold 15%. So if he gets 15% again, they'll just introduce more shares.
So then,
and just continually screw him over.
So then let me ask you, so is him getting 15% to kind of have control over what happens? Do you know?
Yeah, so if there's something called voting rights.
Gotcha.
So if you own a certain amount of stock, if there's questions put forth, like what's the direction of the company, if I own such amount of shares, that counts for a certain amount of votes. It's probably way more complicated than that, but that's my understanding of it. And also, when you own a large portion of the company, you do have a say. I mean, Jack Dorsey, which is the former Twitter CEO, he only owned like 2% of the company. And I think some guy came in and bought like 4% of the company and kind of got rid of Jack Dorsey just because he had so much power. But now Elon came in and grabbed 9% of the company.
And they're like, hold on.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because then now, because I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it, how, because Elon is saying, well, no, it should be more, he kind of wants it to change to where he kind of feels like it should be more free versus, because I've heard a lot of controversy with Twitter with like, it's very left leaning, like, and like most of the time, if you're right wing or something, you kind of get censored a lot there. Yeah. And so then Elon is more like, no, it should kind of be more balanced and more fair to where everybody gets to say, it can't just be one-sided on how it feels. And it's funny to see both sides to how they react to this news, because I've seen a lot of people, whenever this first popped up, a lot of people who were kind of left-leaning were like, this is bad. This is really bad for democracy. This is really bad for this. And I was like, well, it doesn't really sound like it. I don't see how it could be bad. And then a lot of right people were like, this is actually a good thing. And it's just a lot of, this side for Elon against Elon kind of talk going on.
I don't know which side to be on. I've read interesting things on both sides. One thing that was interesting to me was that, let's take a look at places that do have absolute free speech right now on the internet. And they say that's 4chan. And when you think about 4chan, what do you think about?
Oh yeah, some crazy wild shit.
Wild shit. So do you want Twitter to go down that route? Is that a positive thing? Or is moderation important? Should things be more moderated?
It's true. I think the more important question to that, because I'm all for moderation. I think there should be a balance. Like it can be free, but you also have to kind of be conscious of what comes out. Because right now Twitter isn't really free. Like it's not. It doesn't feel that way to me. But the more important question is, because they can say that it's free, but then you have to ask yourself, okay, who's the one deciding, making those decisions that this is what free is? Right. Because then you have to ask, okay, what's their, I forgot the word for it. What's their motive for it?
I mean, there's like a saying that the person that controls the media kind of controls history or controls the narrative. Like who writes the history books decides exactly what happened supposedly. Exactly. Which is interesting when you think about like billionaires and control. I mean, Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post to kind of own this media thing, right? So people are saying, well, this is the new age version of that. Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter so he can kind of control, how he's viewed. And Tesla, they're big. One of their biggest kind of media outlets is Twitter. I mean, Elon is one of the biggest guys ever on Twitter. So if he controls that, how does that help him? It's just really interesting. And I saw this other thing that people are talking about. There's this company called Business Insider. It's just like a news platform. Yeah. But the way they frame things is kind of funny. And the media, I feel like, does this a lot with Elon Musk. I'm kind of an Elon Musk fanboy, so I don't know if I'm the appropriate guy for this, but the way stuff gets framed is so interesting. So when Jeff Bezos bought Washington Post, Business Insider said, this is the article. Billionaire Jeff Bezos, Washington Post buy marks a fascinating cultural transition in America. Right? So now this is what the name of their article for Elon Musk. Elon Musk's attempt to buy Twitter represents a chilling new threat. Billionaire trolls taking over social media. So it's the same thing, but it's framed differently. And Business Insider got $5 million in funding from Jeff Bezos.
Oh, for that. Wow.
Well, not specifically for that, but they're in his corner. So a lot of these media platforms are leaning one way or the other because of who controls them. And this is kind of the new age version of that. Like, what happens if a billionaire takes over, social media? Is he doing it for the greater good? Like, and that's kind of his vision for his companies. That's what he tells the world. Half of the people believe him. Half of the people's like, nah, that's bullshit. Yeah. But he has Starlink. He's trying to provide internet access to the world in rural locations that don't have internet access. He has Tesla EV. He's trying to get away from like legacy automakers and transition towards, EV for the world. And it's better for emissions. And, this stuff is going to save the world. And now he wants to save the world for free speech. Is all that true?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a little bit of both. True
and profitable at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, because I would think the people with that kind of money aren't necessarily making moves just because they want to. It's more so like a power move, or it's like to make more money, to have more money than, because I think I want to say, isn't Elon the richest person in the world?
Yes.
Okay, so it's kind of, maybe he's like to other billionaires, like, I'm doing this, like,
I don't know if the Twitter move is going to make him money. Maybe in the long run. Twitter isn't a profitable company, but right now I don't know if they've ever brought in a profit. I think I read something about that. Yeah. But it's interesting if he has kind of a hold on, that world. I don't know. It's
I think it's interesting because I can understand people. My thing is, I guess, so for example, let's just say that he gets a hold of Twitter, right? And he becomes the majority, whatever, and is like, we're going to make changes, and he does that. My thing is, okay, let's say that happens. Why then? There's a reason why 4chan exists, and it still exists to this day, right? So then why not just go to something else?
Why not build your own platform?
Or if you like, because this is all business. Like, my thing is, well, why? Okay, so let's just say you go to somebody, the people who started Twitter or whoever over Twitter now. Why can't we just go to something else?
You can. I just think Twitter has the clout. It's been important for a long time, and that's the I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's established. It's like, okay, world leaders use Twitter to communicate with the world, like literally, like it's already the thing that's in place. Starting something new would be harder.
I mean, I guess I get that, because I mean, I kind of think of it in the way that Facebook used to have like a stronghold, and then that went to a shit show, and like it kind of became this crazy weird thing, and then that's where Twitter, Instagram came, and then I feel like it's almost feels like this is just the way that things go. For example, and somebody feels like, we're going to make a change for this, we're going to make it better. It goes to shit, and then something else just comes to take its place. That's how I feel like the things will go. Because my thing is, I don't think Twitter's going to be around forever. I don't think it'll be what people think it is forever. It's just an ever growing, ever evolving thing. There's a lot of crazy shit on Twitter as well. This is really random, but I don't know. Did you ever see the video of that kid, unfortunately, who passed away on that ride?
I purposefully did not watch that.
Good. Don't ever watch that video.
Okay.
I accidentally watched it because I was like, why is this trending? It was on trending. It was trending, and whoever had it trending was the main videos on there. Wild. And I'm like, well, what's the difference between that and like some shit that's like, is that like, that feels like a step in the 4chan way where you see some fucked up shit like that.
Well, I do think that it's important that I think it's dope that it can be so real, because okay, when you watch the news, right? When you tune in to ABC, there's people behind the scenes that are like, okay, this is the story. Okay, this is what we're talking about today. When you go to Twitter, it's just whatever. Like if some wild shit happened, boom, you can go to Twitter and literally see it in like real time from like real people instead of this curated thing, you know, from a company, which I think is dope. I think it's a good thing. And I could be 100% wrong, but I kind of feel the opposite of what you said. I kind of feel like Twitter is the thing and it's going to be here for forever. I could be all the way wrong.
Yeah, it's funny because I kind of feel
it just feels accepted because world leaders use it and they'll tweet things.
I get that. That makes sense. I kind of feel like, man, I guess maybe the reason why I don't have as much value in it is because I don't use it that much. I do go on there to kind of get news. That's where I get a lot of news from. But then my thing is like, I almost feel like another social media app could just take what Twitter does, even though it won't do it as good as Twitter because Twitter's been doing it for so long, and just slowly kind of become better than. That's what happened to TikTok. That's how they got better than Instagram, and they got better at just doing more cool things. And you hear people talk about how Instagram is dying and it's just not as good as it used to be. It's kind of crazy because I don't know if you noticed. So TikTok took something from Instagram.
What?
They took stories. So now on
you can do stories on TikTok?
Now you can do stories on TikTok.
I'm so sick of stories.
So now you can do stories on it was like an update. It's not new, but it came out like I want to say this year or at the end of last year.
I don't want to see stories on TikTok.
But I think it was this year. So I'm like, oh, they're just what they're doing because I see how Instagram took what TikTok was doing to create reels, and Instagram saw like, oh, TikTok is capitalizing on this constant scrolling thing, but TikTok was like, oh, y'all want to do that? Watch this shit. And they took the stories thing, which I don't see the point of stories on TikTok, but.
Can I tell you the most ridiculous story thing I've ever seen?
Oh, boy.
I saw it the other day.
What is it?
I'm doing my taxes on TurboTax.
All right.
I'm done doing taxes, which was fucking terrible. I hate you, Uncle Sam. God damn. Worst tax year ever.
Oh, my God.
So I'm done doing my taxes. And they're like, hey, check this out. And it's the story format. And it's like, look, you did your taxes this way. And then you click it and it looks like stories.
Oh my God.
And then you're on the next page and in 2020 you did this. In 2021 you did this.
Oh my God.
And it was the story. Did you do your taxes?
No, I had somebody doing for me.
Oh, you're rich.
No, I'm not that rich. I'm not.
Wow. You got an accountant?
No. I have somebody relative that does taxes. And so anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Marcon?
It's a turbo tax. No.
Oh, damn.
There's a little sombrero on the turbo. No.
Oh, they hook you up?
Yep, they hook you up.
Damn.
It's hilarious. But wait, so TurboTax had a story-esque thing?
Once you're done, they're like, check this out. This is how you did.
Oh my God.
And then you click, it looks like a story. TurboTax stories.
But I think the reason why they did that was kind of like what TikTok does. It's just these videos that could be 15 seconds to 3 minutes. And so they're trying to get you to keep looking. But it's weird that TurboTax would do that shit. Can you imagine people who had horrible tax years every year?
Like, God damn, last year sucked too.
Wow, you've had a negative increase. Like,
wow, you owe the government more money.
Oh, good luck. That's so funny. I hate when companies try to be cool like that. They'll be like, wow, look at us. We're cool. We're hip. And I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Get out of here, Adobe, or get out of here, Ford. That shit makes me laugh so fucking hard. But yeah, it's funny because I remember going on recently. I noticed that that's why on Instagram, to go back on the TikTok versus Instagram thing, Instagram, they put that Reels button in the middle. Because before, I can't remember what it was, the post button in the middle.
Okay.
And so now they're like, no, you want to watch Reels. But like TikTok, I wouldn't be surprised if TikTok take something from Twitter soon. I wouldn't be surprised. But now, as far as it's just Twitter kind of established themselves to be who they are. So I don't know to be as big. But I say all that to say that I think that Twitter's not always going to be Twitter. It's going to change one day. Just like we grew up and we watched certain shows and every season was dope. It's like Game of Thrones. You're like, wow, this is amazing. And then towards the end of it, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
You're probably right, but I'm gonna, something in me disagrees. You're probably right, but something in me just says no.
I can't let this happen.
I can't let this happen.
It's so interesting though. But yeah. All right, we're back. All right.
I got a super, super quick nerd corner.
Okay.
Real quick.
Nerd corner.
I just learned some useless information.
Oh boy.
And I want to share this useless information with people.
Okay.
So nerds, get out of the corner.
Get out of the corner.
Or come to the corner.
Come to the corner.
We're going to meet.
Get beat up in the corner.
No, we're not beating up nerds. I'm a nerd.
All right.
We embrace nerds.
All right.
Lovingly. Passionately. Passionate nerds. Okay. Right. Are you aware of blue lobsters?
I've seen them, but I other than that, that's it.
So you are aware of blue lobsters. Blue lobsters are 1 in 2 million. Very rare. No one would eat a blue lobster. That'd be fucked up. Okay. Unless you're just you're Jeff Bezos. Oh, maybe gotcha. Jeff Bezos only eats blue lobsters.
That'd be wild.
That's a wild guy. But did you know that red lobsters are more rare?
How? Oh. Like the restaurant Red Lobsters, they always talk about Red Lobster.
Bro, red lobsters are more rare than blue lobsters. Mind blowing. Tell this to a girl at an aquarium. She's gonna love
Fall in love.
She's gonna be like, oh my God.
Let's go home.
So regularly lobsters, their coloring is kind of dark brown and black.
Oh yeah.
When you boil lobsters and murder them, they turn red. Yeah. They're not naturally red. Oh. Except for red lobsters. They're 1 in 10 million.
Damn, so they're more rare.
They're more rare than blue lobsters.
I never put that together. Wow.
Just teach y'all something today.
Did you know, to add to this lobster talk? So, of course, back in the day.
Teached isn't proper. Taught.
Sorry, taught. Back in the day, the way that they killed lobsters was boiling them. Mm-hmm. But lobsters, they yell when they're being boiled.
It's like this high-pitched squeak.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah. It's very scary and sad. But now what they've done is there's this little thing behind their neck that you have to stab, and that'll kill them instantly.
You do that before you boil them?
Before you boil them.
Damn, lobster is like the only animal that you buy alive and you murder before you eat it.
It's kind of wild.
Wow.
That actually, a quick question. Do you think, let's say, shit goes to hell in a handbasket and we have to start over as far as like technology, everything. Could you kill an animal to survive? Like a deer or like a pig? You think you could do it?
I've killed things.
You're canceled. No.
Well, my dad is a avid hunter.
Oh, okay. So
I never really was super into hunting, but I did some as a kid. Dove hunting, turkey hunting. I enjoyed it somewhat.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I know, not necessarily hunting, but my grandmother on my dad's side, she would have a coop full of chicken. She would take one and kill it for dinner. Yeah. And I don't know how she did it, man. I couldn't do it.
I've killed pigeons literally with my hands.
Holy moly.
I was supposed to do it. My dad told me to do it. You put the pigeon, you take it right here on the block, and then you take a piece of wood and then
oh my God.
Right in the neck.
We're canceling this episode. Everybody's gonna be upset that you said that.
I'm sorry. I
thought for some reason you were gonna say you take the pigeon, you strangle it, and you just. I thought that's what you were gonna say. Yeah. Crazy.
I'm sorry, pigeons. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I don't think I could kill a dog unless the dog was attacking me. If
that's the only time I could.
If I had to do it, I could do it, but I couldn't kill a dog. I love dogs too much, and cats too. I couldn't kill a cat.
I'm the same way. I couldn't kill a dog unless it was like trying to kill me and it was like about to take my arm off or something. I'd be like, you gotta go.
Side note, you see the shit they're doing in Shanghai right now?
Oh boy, I don't even know if I want to know. What is it?
So the COVID lockdown has become extreme over there, and they're putting all the pets to sleep. They're killing everyone's pets. There's videos of literally cats in bags sitting outside. It's just fucked up.
Is there a reason why?
COVID. They don't want the animals to spread COVID.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Holy moly. I wonder if people are hiding their pets.
I would.
Yeah, I'd try to put a muzzle on it.
You ain't taking my dog.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You better put me in that bag.
I didn't, and here we are, and I thought we were done with it, but that's crazy.
China, man, there's some really crazy dystopian videos. Like, go watch these videos. There's these high-rise apartments, and there's people like crying and like singing like because they're lonely and they're yelling to each other. And then they have this drone flying around that's like, everyone be calm. The lockdown will be over soon. Stay in your apartment. Do not yell or scream or cry.
Holy shit.
And then there's these drones driving around spreading the information as well. It looks like Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Like when people were posting it, they were like, oh, the new season of Black Mirror looks crazy.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, man.
That's what, I don't know. We got there, but whatever. Well, right. It's about that time.
Not all here moment.
Yeah. Not all here moment for episode 56. Do you want to go first? Or you want to go?
I don't know.
Is yours short or how, do you know?
It's not super long.
Okay. Mine's kind of short, but it's kind of funny. Okay. I'll go first.
You go first.
So mine has to deal with what I talked about earlier in the episode about being engaged. So as I was planning all of this out, I mentioned that I was going to have a homie who's a photographer take pictures to capture the moment, right? So this whole day, the day of, he texted me, hey, what's the details? What's your address? What time should I be there? Gave him the address and I was like, hey, be there before 6:30. That's what I tell him. Okay. So this whole time, he's like, bet, I got you. I'll be there. I'm doing everything, distracting my partner. We're going out to eat, going to the plant store, like I said earlier. And it comes to, I think, 6:45. We're on our way home. And I'm like, all right, now's the time. So there's a street that we have to turn on before you get into our place. You know the street because you've driven here. We get to the street that we have to turn. All of a sudden, my partner goes, hey, that's so-and-so. It's the photographer friend. He hasn't even made it to the crib yet. Oh. And he's on the corner. She doesn't know anything. She goes, hey, what's going on? And he literally, all he does, the audio listeners, he just does this head nod. He goes, he goes like that, just real serious look on his face. And she can't see me. I'm looking at him and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What's good? And she just goes back. She's like, that's crazy. He's riding a bike around town. That's wild. Why is he on this side of town? I'm like, yeah, that's real wild.
Yeah.
And then, so then I'm thinking, what should I do? Should I slowly drive into our garage to give him time to run in through the front door? And so I'm like, whatever. Eventually what ends up happening, he doesn't make it in time.
Damn.
But what makes it even funnier is that another friend of mine who came from out of town that he's also friends with had asked him prior to, hey, do you need a ride to the place? And he was like, no, I don't need a ride. I'll be okay. And so then afterwards I just go, damn, bro, I thought you was already here. And he was like, yeah, stuff happens, you know? And so it was not all here moment for him because that moment you couldn't plan it. Like,
did you get pictures?
No, he took pictures after the fact.
But did anybody get a picture of it occurring?
Yeah, okay. A couple people on their phones and stuff, and he took pictures after the fact and everything. But it's just funny because I was just like dying laughing because I was like, damn, maybe I should have gone to Publix. Maybe.
What if he was just like, hey, y'all already getting, like, did I miss it?
I would have died laughing. I'd be like, what? She missed what? Oh, shit. Because I think had I went to Publix, he would have been there.
Dang, bro. I should have went to
Publix and made up some shit and got her some flowers or whatever.
Dang, bro.
But I had me dying laughing the whole day. So funny. All right.
My not out here moment. A couple weeks back, do you remember my not out here moment of someone tapping on the door at our house?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We had it happen again.
Whoa, for real?
We had it happen again. So this time it was around 10 o'clock. I'm the only one in the living room. I am sitting there watching TV. And me and Dot, we're laying on the couch and I hear bang, bang, bang. Right?
Yeah.
3 bangs. Like, this wasn't a knock.
Yeah, it was like somebody like trying to get in.
Somebody at the door was like bang, bang, bang. Like right in a row, like 3 times.
Yeah.
So at first, I'm like, whoa, like.
What the fuck was that?
For some reason, I thought it was either Rello or Silence.
Yeah.
They weren't there. It was me and Kat. Kat was in his room.
Yeah.
So I was kind of slow, and then I took a couple seconds. So then I walked to the door. Now the way our door is, there's a light that's supposed to
go off,
turn on. It doesn't turn on, an automatic light.
Yeah.
So I looked out there and it's dark. I can't see anything. right? So I turn the flashlight on my phone on, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is this going to be the same shit from last time? So I look down, I'm like, I don't see anything. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
So Dot's going crazy. Dot's barking. She's going crazy. So I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So Cat comes out of his room, and he's like, yo, after he heard the bang, he looked out his window and he said he saw someone running down the street.
What the fuck?
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So me and him are just standing there for a little bit, like we're just waiting or looking or. So then I put Dot in the room. We leave the house. We kind of walk around the house because we didn't know if it was a prank or what the fuck was going on. Like maybe somebody vandalized the house or tried to break in the house, or maybe we could walk around the house and see something. Yeah. We walked around, didn't see anything. And that's pretty much it.
Holy shit.
So now I got the light working now.
Oh,
so
okay.
if this happens again, I can see.
Like who it is.
We don't know if it was somebody mad at us.
Somebody drunk.
Somebody drunk. Somebody high. Somebody scared. Somebody that was in trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe a kid doing a prank. Like,
crazy. And he said he saw him take off running.
He said he couldn't really see anything, but he said as soon as he heard that, he was like, what the fuck was that? So he looked out his window and so he says he saw somebody running.
Holy shit. And
last time this happened, the guy told us he felt like, because, last time he was running from the cops. Yeah. Right. And the way our house is, I have the shades open, so you can kind of see in the house a little bit. Yeah. In the front door. So, and maybe people, when they're in trouble, they go to a house that they can see. Like they can maybe they're like, oh, they'll help me. Yeah. But then Dot started barking, and maybe they got scared.
They're like, oh shit, this dog gonna attack me.
So I don't know.
That's wild.
But this wasn't a knock. This was like
boom, boom, boom.
Yep. Real quick.
God damn.
And then I couldn't see anybody. I saw nothing.
Wow. And you're like, let's get that light fixed.
Sorry, yeah, I got it fixed.
That's wild as fuck. God damn. Well, I'm glad I'm over here. But I've had my fair share of moments being scared. Bro, I've had my fair share of moments here. I was like, hold on.
Really?
Yeah. Just because I told you the one time about that homeless person that was right here. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you here? Like, of all places. They ended up leaving or whatever. Yeah. But sometimes, kind of like whenever I go to sleep, we sleep on the third floor. I'll be like, did I just hear something? And I can't sleep unless I go check to make sure like ain't nobody breaking in. And then I'll pay attention to Hawk to see how she's acting. I'm like, does she feel like she's on alert? Because if she's not on alert, I'll be like, okay, I should be fine. But if I sense like, if she's like senses something, she's quick to be like, hold up, that'll let me know, okay, do I need to come down here with a knife? Do I need? Yeah. And so, but I've had my fair share and stuff. And then we used to have a friend who lived with us for a little bit. And sometimes she would come in late and I would be like, who the fuck? And then I would turn the corner and be like, oh shit, and get scared. I'm like, oh, it's just you. Okay. Just making sure. And so sometimes before I go to sleep, I check every room just to make sure shit is like fine. Yeah. So, the price of safety.
Yeah, man.
That's wild that shit happened though.
Happened again.
Man. Well, that's a good way to end the podcast.
That's the podcast, people.
Episode 56 of the Not All Here podcast. Crazy. So we're on Anchor now. We used to be on Buzzsprout, but we switched over to Anchor. Appreciate everybody that's still listening. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Really helps us to reach new listeners. Follow the podcast on Instagram, Not All Here Podcast. Also follow Cool Ass People. Follow the YouTube, Not All Here podcast on YouTube. We be getting a lot of views on there. I was like checking. Yeah. So people like the podcast on there. Also follow our personal pages. It's EZL and then Jetty.
JRB, the producer, on every platform your heart desires, except OnlyFans. I'm not on OnlyFans yet.
All right. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.